Rhythm is sort of the earliest element of music. It's the thing that's sort of the most ingrained in us just naturally. That's really just the pulse or the groove of the music. And think about when you're listening to a song, you're bobbing your head to the pulse. But we don't bob our head to every single note that's happening, just to kind of this underlying glue, the groove, the beat. And that's really all you need to think about with rhythm in the beginning, because if you can lock into that groove and pulse, and to test this, just listen to your favorite song and just bob your head and see how you naturally feel with it. When we strip back any sort of anxiety or stress, we can find that groove very, very easily and start to feel it again. It's just something very fundamental in us. Now, again, we're not bobbing our head to every single note. We can work with notes around that groove. But as long as we find that central groove, that glue, you're going to have a pretty easy time creating something that sounds musical. As soon as we lose that groove, it's just not quite music anymore. And so that's just something to keep in mind, that really, if you want something to sound very musical and as if it's alive, well, you need that rhythmic pulse. If you're composing, of course, if you're taking your time to find that perfect melody, well, the rhythm's not going to quite be there, but the song's not really going to feel like music yet, so you have to practice that. But that, of course, pretty simple right there. When it comes to a rhythmic groove, we tend to kind of have a steady pulse that then we group into these smaller groups here, usually of either 3, 4, or 6. So you might have a groove that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's a very common pulse. We might group our beat into measures of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Those are some common pulses, but again, as long as you have kind of a consistent count that you're just moving to each time, and you give it a little bit of a push-pull dynamic. We're not robots, of course, so instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You'll find a pulse, and you can tap right into that. So try and just keep a steady groove. That's our first ingredient, rhythm.